it's Melissa from the KX Morning Ride on KX 94.7. We're in the KX Country Clubhouse with Dustin Bird. Hey, Dustin.
Good morning, Melissa. It's good to see you.
You too. I know we've had a chance to meet before because you have come through the KX studios, gosh, years ago. It seems like years ago that we saw you, and we know that you were, pushing and working really hard to get noticed because you're such an incredibly talented musician. Congratulations on being with Open Road. How did that feel when you got the call that, woo, I'm with like one of the best record labels in Canada?
Thank you. Yeah, we were working really, really hard for a long time. And it does feel like a long time too, because it's been like over a year now with COVID. And so it definitely feels like it's been a lot of years. But no, I mean, we worked really, really hard, and I'm super proud and fortunate to be a part of a great team like Open Road. And those people over there have been working so hard, and they're just so amazing to work with every single day. And I'm feeling fantastic about it.
Your colleagues on that record label, of course, if people don't know, are the likes of Tim Hicks, Madeline Merlot, the Hunter Brothers, the Roadhammers. I mean, what incredible company to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. There's an incredible amount of talent. I've been lucky to write with some of them on there, and it's awesome. And those are people that I look up to, and that's art that I'm inspired by every single day. So it's really energizing to be a part of that kind of team, for sure.
For anybody that doesn't know you, and of course we're getting to know you now, our KX listeners, you're from Stirling, Ontario. You're not still there, are you?
I'm in Stirling right now, baby. Yeah.
And I know Stirling because we used to have a trailer out that way, out towards Campbellford. And I know that between Campbellford and Stirling, there's one of the best cheese factories on the planet.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm partial to the Ivanhoe Cheese Factory. I don't know if that's the one that you're talking about, but the Ivanhoe Cheese Factory between Stirling and Madoc, man, if you ain't checked that place out, they got some great cheeses. There's like a lot of good cheeses in this area. For some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just like a thing that started a long time ago, and now everybody's on board and making great cheeses. We don't got to talk a lot about cheeses, but it does get me pretty excited.
You guys must have some great pastures for the cows now. And another thing that's famous for Stirling, and then we're going to move on to your music, is the Stirling Fair. Have you ever played that?
I've never played the Stirling Fair, but I remember going to it when I was a kid, and I think the first act that I saw there was Jessie Farrell, if you remember her, probably back in like 2006, 2007, somewhere around that time. And I remember also seeing Aaron Pritchett play at the Stirling Fair, George Kangan as well. Yeah, so there's been a lot of great Canadian music come through the Stirling Fair for sure. And honestly, like those were some of my first concerts. So it was great. I remember when I was 10 years old, and Aaron Pritchett was playing, and he came out and he walked on stage and he was singing "Hold My Beer," and I was hyped. So I ran up, to the front of the stage, to get as close as I could get. And some girl, probably like college age, she spilled her beer like on me. And it was the most exciting thing that I'd ever experienced in my life. I was like, oh man. And like, I ran back to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, like I got beer spilled on me. Like, oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. And it was awesome, man. Aaron Pritchett, man, he puts on a good show. So that was awesome. But Stirling Fair has always been great. Yeah.
Well, here's hoping once you can get back on stage, that bigger exciting things will happen to you around the stage. So let's move on to your music, okay? And I'm sure this has been talked about before. I have to admit, when I heard your single's name, Broken Lonely, I thought, ooh, that sounds depressing. But really, right? Because who hasn't ever been broken lonely, and especially during COVID? Yeah. But there's actually a positive message in this song. Tell us about Broken Lonely.
Yeah, Broken Lonely is just saying like it's all right to be broken lonely, or it's all right to be wherever you are. And it is a song that kind of comes from a bit of a dark place, but it's not necessarily a dark song at all. It's rather optimistic. You know, I think there's a lot of pressure on, certainly on people my age, but I think on everybody as you're growing up. There's a lot of pressure to maybe achieve certain things, or to be at a certain place at a certain time. And if you don't hit those benchmarks, or your life isn't going in that direction that you think it ought to go in, it can be really hard to deal with. And so I wrote that song from that perspective, and it was really kind of therapeutic in a sense for me, because I was telling myself that as I was writing the song. So it's very much like, it's all right to be broken, lonely, it's all right to be whatever. And it is really my story in that song. And I hope people connect with that specific story. But more than anything, I hope people just connect with that idea that, hey man, like it's cool, you know what I mean? Like, if you're in a weird spot, that's fine. Like, you don't have to worry about it.
Basically, you're telling people they're not alone, is what you're really saying. Have you actually had anybody, since you've released that single, reach out to you and say, thank you for this message, I needed it, it came at the right time?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, that response on a personal level has been incredible. Because I mean, the song kind of seems to find its way to people in that sense, and it finds people that are in that very specific position in their lives right now. And I think that's a lot of people, especially with COVID and everything. A lot of people who have lost their jobs or can't work, and maybe has to, like, move back home, or whatever the case might be. And it's like, man, like, I don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what's going to happen, with all this COVID stuff. And this song is just like, why did you write a song about my life? It's kind of like the usual DM that I get. It's like, how did you know? And I think I know, because it's, I've been through the same thing, and so many of us have. And so there's, something really appealing to me in terms of songwriting, which is, just be honest, just be as real as you can with your audience. And I'm just going to tell my story. And we put this song out, not 100% sure if it was going to resonate with people like this, because you can never know, especially when you're digging a little bit deeper, when you're telling a real honest story. But it does connect with people. It's connecting with people more than any song I've ever put out. And I'm really proud of it, and I hope that it makes people feel good.
You should be proud of it. It's if it's touching people, that's really what it's all about. And you know what I found interesting? I mean, like we mentioned at the beginning, you've been around for a long time, working hard to get kind of the recognition that you deserve. However, this is kind of your breakthrough right now. This is your breakthrough moment. And this doesn't happen very often. So tell me, what made you decide, or what was the decision? You already have a full album that's been released, and that's really unusual for a breakthrough artist.
Yeah, well, the album is like you said, like, I came out to the station probably 2018, 2019. And in 2019, we released like the first single that is actually on this album. So that was Wake Up. And after that, we dropped single after single. And eventually those songs found their way with Open Road and everybody involved onto this project. So we've also added like new pieces and whatnot to the project, but it's really kind of a coming together of all these singles, and to kind of tell my story a little bit, because it's a little bit harder to communicate who I am just through one song, especially with songs that are, really real, really honest, and really quite specific about certain areas of my life. So we definitely wanted to tell a story, and the best way to do that was through putting all these songs on an album. We have live off the floor pieces as well, which we did back in the fall, which are really cool. And that's kind of another side of me, right? I got to, sit down with the band and play those songs, and those are the songs. They're not really produce pieces, but those are a part of me as well. So we wanted to communicate kind of a full story of who I am, going into the work that'll be rolling out in the future. So it's a rather exciting time, and we've also got a lot coming off of that now with some new live off the floor pieces, some new things that we're doing. So we actually just released the acoustic version of Broken Lonely. So that video's out everywhere, and you can actually stream that song like on your Spotify or Apple or Amazon or whatever you listen to. And we've also got some more of those coming out pretty soon. So there's like a lot that we're able to do around the album simply because we don't have live shows, right? We're not out on the road and we're not doing those things. So it's like, well, how do we communicate that story? How do we connect with people on a deeper level, and still keep things exciting, keep things fresh and interesting?
And that album, by the way, if anybody wants to check it out, is called Unscripted. And you know what? When you think, now that you've told me that, it's so incredibly smart, because it's like I'm relatively new to like the big picture. I'm Dustin Bird, and here's who I am. Get to know me better through my entire album. Very smart. I think more artists are going to be following your suit. That's what's going to happen. Well, Dustin, you mentioned that you were here at the KX Studios just a few years ago. Do you remember what we made you do?
No, you're gonna have to refresh that one. What did you guys make me do? If you say it, I will for sure remember. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh. I do remember. That's still the only thing that I can draw too. That's the only thing that I can draw, is that like butchered Same I Am. I don't know what, did I give him an Adam's apple? Why did I give him an Adam's apple? What is that?
Yeah, like and a cleft in your throat. But what is he like? He looks like I don't know. He looks kind of like, well, he's a car. It's supposed to be a self-portrait, so.
I mean, that is me. I guess that's what I look like. Yeah, no, that makes awesome. A lot of sense.
Well, we're so glad to catch up with you once again. We're so happy that you're with a great team at RGK and Open Road, and we're looking forward to when you can actually come back. And do you want to give a shot at redrawing this next time? Nah.
I honestly, I think it's kind of a legacy piece at this point. It's but I can take as many shots at drawing that same little Same I Am guy as you want. I can spice it up, add some colors. Oh man, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of potential here.
That's who it looks like. It looks like a Dr. Seuss character. That's exactly it. Well, thank you so much, Dustin. We appreciate you stopping by the KX Country Clubhouse. All the best success to you, and we're looking forward to seeing you in person.
Thanks so much, Melissa. We'll talk to you soon.